Wait a minute. Look, folks, I understand because of this weekend and the historic performance of Bud Crawford, a lot of people is emotionally invested with what happened this past weekend. And of course, when we see something great, we usually forget about everything else. Now, of course, Bud Crawford, the 3-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, pound for pound #1, has done a wonderful, great thing. And not that he shocked the world, because I believe, like myself, I thought Bud Crawford was going to win because of his skill set, and because he got a deeper bag than Errol the True Spence. I think he shocked how he won the fight more than just winning the fight. He didn't shock the people by winning. He shocked the people by how he beat Errol the True Spence, which was highly respected. 3-belt holder in the welterweight division, regarded as the best welterweight at the time, right? But I believe that most of the pugilists of the game that understand the sport of boxing, understand what they see, that Bud Crawford was arguably the best fighter in the world. Errol the True Spence was arguably the best welterweight of the world. But we all know who's the best right now. That's Terence Bud Crawford. But I also noticed in the same community, a lot of people really don't give the respect that Jermell Charlo, the Iron Man, the undisputed 154-pounder, deserves. Well, I've been respecting Jermell Charlo. Matter of fact, I always had Jermell Charlo ahead of Errol the True Spence on my pound-for-pound list. And I've seen in other pound-for-pound lists, which was quote-unquote credible, snub Jermell Charlo at the pound-for-pound list. But not me. I know what I see. Jermell Charlo is a whole different type of beast. And I know a lot of people want to link Jermell Charlo and Errol the True Spence because they're from Texas. They train by the same trainer, but they're totally different fighters. Totally different fighters. Ladies and gentlemen, Jermell Charlo is not flat-footed. Jermell Charlo just don't throw just the same jab. Jermell Charlo has an up jab, stiff jab, parry the jab, great combination, body work, uppercuts. Could fight off the front foot and back foot. The way that he knocked out Erickson Lubin with one punch power in the middle of the ring. The way that he jabbed and knocked out Jason Rosario, who was unified champion, knocked out Jason Rosario with a jab in a solo plex that made him catch the Holy Ghost. Man, it looked like Jason Rosario had a seizure. El banana. El Dominicano was going all over the place. Ese tigre estaba ahí. Ladies and gentlemen, he got Brian Castano was hurting him off the back foot. He was on the ropes. So what I'm telling y'all folks is that, and then he knocked out Tony Harrison in his get back. A lot of people felt like he really didn't lose the first fight. In all reality, Jermell Charlo should be undefeated. He's already undisputed. I didn't believe that he lost to Tony Harrison in the first fight. But it was a close fight. But anyway, he got his get back. Jermell Charlo has shown you varieties of way to end you, to knock you out, to stop you, to outbox you. He got footwork. He got speed. And he always stays in shape. Ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the problems of Errol the True Spence. That Errol the True Spence seems like he gets ready when he got a contract on the table, and that's when he gets into the gym, and that's when he prepares himself. Jermell Charlo is the same as Bud Crawford in terms of being a gym rat. Jermell Charlo got a gym in his house. Jermell Charlo stays in shape. We never, ever, ever seen Jermell Charlo out of shape. Always in shape. Always in the gym. Always prepared. The Iron Man is always ready to go. And this is why the Iron Man, Jermell Charlo, carved his own legacy. So now there could be a potential fight. You already know that Jermell Charlo going to be fighting Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, the 4th-division world champion, super middleweight undisputed. Canelo Alvarez, a.k.a. King Nello, a.k.a. Cartelo, a.k.a. Castano, a.k.a. Payday, a.k.a. Get the fuck out of here, man. He got a good fight. Great opportunity to become and to actually earn and accomplish what Bud Crawford accomplished. 2-division undisputed world champion. But I'm going to tell you like this. Jermell Charlo's road to accomplish that is harder. It's harder, folks. A lot of people talking about Terence Bud Crawford versus Jermell Charlo. Now, we've seen them in the past go back and forth. We've seen Terence Bud Crawford talk to Jermell Charlo or yell Jermell Charlo during the time that he's beating up his boy Errol the True Spence. And hopefully Errol the True Spence, hope he's all good and his health is getting better. You know what I'm saying? I think he can go back to the drawing board and come right back up. He's still a good fighter, and hopefully he does what he needs to do to get back into the top of his game. But you know what? I'm listening, I'm reading people analyze like Jermell Charlo is not more dangerous than Errol the True Spence. Let me tell you, folks, what you saw this past weekend, that ish will not happen to Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo got a chin, got grit, got natural abilities, big, strong, athletic, way athletic than Errol the True Spence, y'all. Just because you see them as friends, and just because you see them in the same gym, and just because you see them trained by the same guy, they totally different fighters. Totally different fighters. And let me tell you something else. The mobility of Jermell Charlo is way better. He got more skills in the bag. He's more unpredictable than in his offensive approach. Jermell Charlo will be, I'm not going to say will be. Matter of fact, I'm going to say it will be Terence Bud Crawford. Now, could he challenge Terence Bud Crawford? Of course. It's 2 pound-for-pound fighters, two undisputed type of fighters. A man that carved his own legacy. Now, if you don't respect Jermell Charlo because you don't respect it, because you're trying to snub him in your own pound-for-pound list, that's on you. But ladies and gentlemen, Jermell Charlo is no easy pickings for nobody. It's the reason why Canelo Alvarez is fighting Jermell Charlo. And there is a very, very threat. He is a good threat to Canelo Alvarez. And don't be surprised if Jermell Charlo beats Canelo Alvarez as well. No. Listen to me what I'm trying to say. Do not be surprised that Jermell Charlo beat Canelo Alvarez. And if he beats Canelo Alvarez, y'all be singing a different tune. Because in boxing, we live for the moment. Just like a lot of people is emotionally invested to the moment of this past weekend when Terence Bud Crawford, he looks spectacular, he looks incredible. So now we're seeing Bud Crawford could beat this one, and he could beat this one, and he could beat this one. Yes, Bud Crawford is the man. Bud Crawford right now is on top of the world right now. But just like Naoya Inoue, 3 days prior to Terence Bud Crawford beating Errol the True Spence, he was on top of the world. He was the #1 pound for pound. And I said the only way that somebody take out Inoue, the monster, out the pound-for-pound list, if it's Bud beats Spence, Charlo beats Canelo. So right now we're looking at Bud Crawford, but let's see if Jermell Charlo beats Canelo Alvarez, who's the #1 pound for pound. How much you want to bet? Some of y'all won't be saying what y'all saying right now. Oh, yeah. So Bud Crawford will beat. What y'all going to say if Jermell Charlo beats Canelo Alvarez? Y'all want him to come back down to the 154-pound division? No, it's not going to happen. They'll probably fight in the catchweight, probably in the 160. And Jermell Charlo will be a humongous A-side. Do not compare Jermell Charlo to Errol the True Spence. Do not compare Jermell Charlo to Sean Porter. Do not compare Jermell Charlo to anybody that Bud Crawford ever faced. Because the mobility, the precise punches, the counter punching, the varieties away, the mix of his punches, the mix of his attack on the front foot and on the back foot, his defense, his willing his chin, his beard, his durability, his output, his punch resistance. Ladies and gentlemen, Jermell Charlo will be the best technical fighter that Bud Crawford has ever faced. And the biggest and the most accomplished that he's ever faced. Ladies and gentlemen, I know there's a lot of outlets out there that like to snub and like not to give the respect of Jermell Charlo, but Jermell Charlo's a whole different type of beast, a whole different type of animal than Errol Spence. Don't let the sparring story fool you, okay? Don't let the sparring story fool you. And now that Jermell Charlo also working with the best Dominican fighter that ever lived, Joan Guzman, and you can see that there is an elevation. Look, I'm gonna tell you something about these both. Let me tell you something about Bud Crawford and Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo and Bud Crawford is one of the few fighters that has elevated their game and have added more to the toolbox in the professional level than than a lot of these fighters. A lot of these fighters are still living off their amateur skill set. Jermell Charlo has grown substantially and one of the most underrated resumes in the sport of boxing. And Bud Crawford has grown substantially. If you look at both of these guys in the amateur, I don't think that nobody thought that they was going to be where they at right now. Yeah, they was going to be good and great, but not on top of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Jermell Charlo will beat Terence Bud Crawford. Remember what I said. Subscribe to the channel, smash